Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you all for being here. Over one-third of the Navy's 51 attack boats are in maintenance right now due to backlogs in repair in all 4 of the Navy's public shipyards. So the Navy submarines are spending more and more time undergoing maintenance due to our lack of industrial capacity and spare parts. Spare parts inventories have been cut below critical levels, forcing delays in yard exits while ships wait for parts and skilled workers look for other employment. So what is Navy leadership doing to increase the flow of spare parts to the waterfront to support maintenance availabilities? And how are we alleviating the U.S. repair backlog and getting our subs back to sea?
It's a primary effort for the Navy. We've increased significantly over $600 million to buy Virginia-class parts to address that backlog that's been programmed in. We've increased public shipyard wages, especially in the Norfolk area, to ensure we assess and retain the most skilled labor possible. We are outsourcing significantly. We're doubling the amount of outsourcing resource days we do across the public shipyards. We generally average about 100,000 resource days per year across the 4 public shipyards. We will double that to over 200,000. And then we are also continuing, as you know, to outsource entire availabilities. And we've outsourced both Columbus and Boise in HII Newport News. And we have also outsourced an entire availability at Electric Boat with Hartford. So we are using every lever we can to get at that backlog. That backlog represents 7 submarines that once we address that by 2027, 2028, that will return to the fleet and be able to meet our operational needs.
Okay, good. And the Hampton Roads area, which I represent in Virginia Beach, plays a critical role in construction of the Virginia-class submarines at Newport News Shipbuilding. I'm glad to hear the Commonwealth will continue to support the AUKUS agreement through the Navy's Additive Manufacturing Center of Excellence in Danville, Virginia, tapping into our rural workforce. We've got extreme workforce challenges associated with AUKUS. The Electric Boat plans to hire almost 20,000 workers over the next 10 years, and Australia needing to build up their submarine repair and building workforce. And I read the Navy's testimony that in order to meet the increase in demand associated with the proposed annual construction rate of 1 Columbia-class and 2 Virginia-class submarines by 2028, the workload equivalent will have to be 5 times what it is today. So I guess just a simple question, where are the people going to come from? And I know we have a group of people in Pearl Harbor that you mentioned, you know, and it's roughly around 90, is that correct, that are there? And we need a lot more than that. So are they coming from Australia? Are they coming from domestically, or just how are we incentivizing? Because that's a lot of people we're going to need.
Yeah, so for the public shipyards, Pearl Harbor is about 6,000 workers at Pearl Harbor Shipyard. Norfolk Naval is about a little over 10,000, 10,500. To get to the new construction question, which I think is what you're asking, what we are doing is we are outsourcing large components and large amount of work outside just the Groton Electric Boat area in Quonset Point and Newport News. We have a goal to reach 6 million. Admiral Rucker will go ahead and explain more, but we're up to over 4 million resource days per year being outsourced. And the way you do that is you outsource to the Gulf Coast, and they build entire modules that can be shipped. And that's what it is, because you're exactly right. You can't just rely on certain areas. It's got to be across the nation. And we have more than 30 states involved in the industrial base, and it's absolutely critical.
Yes, ma'am. Great question. So starting with your area in the Hampton Roads region, we have these, in addition to what you talked about at Danville, we have what's called state pipeline, training pipelines. Hampton Roads, in partnership with Newport News and BAE and other companies in the area, we established that. We've already seen an uptick in the number of people that are willing to come in and want to come into that specific thing. The other states, Virginia is one of our top states where we have critical suppliers, along with Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, California, and Ohio. Looking at what we're doing with those state pipelines, we've already seen over 1,000 people, just since we started them a little over a year ago, already come in. They have a 92% retention and placement rate once they come in and go through our training systems. Right now in the region, in addition with Newport News, some of the funding is helping to increase their apprenticeship school. With that outsourcing of work, the combination of the workers around the area, and we've looked at expanding the radius from which they look, as well as the demographics in which they look. I'm sure you probably have seen billboards around or commercials during football games or other things, buildsubmarines.com. We have since translated that into Spanish, and we're going after a population that frankly we did not look at as well before, and we're expanding that up at near Electric Boat. There's a whole region that we think those people can come have good, high-paying jobs, and then also in the Hampton Roads region, we're looking to expand that as well. So a lot of things I would say from a national marketing perspective, that regional training center in Danville, and with the supplemental, we intend to not only finish outfitting that, we broke ground about a week or two ago. That'll increase the capacity there, but we'll establish other ones of those around the country. And then with those state pipelines, bring together and reconnect the critical technology education centers, the CTEs, vocational schools, build those links that used to exist. We're reestablishing those to be able to reach out and touch all the way down to the elementary school to bring those people in and help with the workforce.
Good. Thank you. And I hope targeting our veterans as well. And I'm out of time, so I yield back. Thank you.